You tiredly collapsed on the sofa. It's tough for you to deal with him. You thought maybe he had changed his attitude, but he is still the old man. He have no mercy. You called June and informed that you couldn't persuade him. He is determined on it. Then Jenny to bring Rowoon back at home. You had been really busy going back and forth from hospital to company that you couldn't get much time to talk with your baby. You miss him. Your brother must be mad still, as you didn't want to talk to him since that day. You believe that Jenny will handle this matter well. Moreover, he is your brother. He can't be mad for long, for sure. Mummy, I miss you. He hugged you tightly the moment you enter into the apartment and keep rubbing his face. Jenny bring him back after receiving your call. Your heart melt at the sight of cute little guy asking for affection from his mother and squatted down before pinching his chubby cheeks. He is not mad at his mother. Even after being neglected for long, he is excited and missing his mother badly. He held your hand, rubbing soft on his cheek against your palm. You lowered your head to kiss his forehead, cheeks, and nose, making him giggle. He wrapped his hands around your neck and pecked on your nose. Can Rowoon stay with mummy all the time in the future? You were stunned for a while before nodding. Of course you can. We will be together forever. In the future, mummy will protect you well. You didn't expect him to suddenly snort it. I have grown up. I can protect mummy. Don't keep sending me away. I want to stay by mummy's side. He's sounding like a young adult. Your eyes couldn't help but tear up and reached out to stroke his back of head. My Rowoon has grown up. Mummy knows about it. But mummy, never believe it. He pouted. You kissed his chubby cheeks again and again. Jenny, standing by side, couldn't help but laughed. Is it useful for mummy to believe you? When the bad guys really came, what will you do with your teeny body? You are just a little one. Your mummy can't even take care of herself, and she have to take care of you. You are still so young. Hurry up and eat well to grow taller than us. Only then we will believe that you really have the ability to protect others. You didn't refute her, cause it's the fact. He is just cute little baby. Furthermore, you also knew that your son was not someone who was easily affected. Sure enough, he was very disdainful after hearing Jenny and crossed his little hands. So, Aunt Nini is brave. I don't know who has been begging me not to tell uncle about her. You raised your brow and looked at Jenny. Her smile froze and pretended to hit Rowoon. You are the one with thick skin, are not you? You only know how to make fun of me with your uncle every day. Mummy, he threw himself into your arms and hugged you tightly, asking for help. This too, Tom and Jerry. Jenny stopped her action. This little one just embarrassed her. You're very curious now and smiled, looking at shy and embarrassed girl in front. How far have you and my brother progressed? Her face immediately turned red. Sarang, what nonsense are you talking about? Rowoon immediately complained. Mummy, I saw it from upstairs. Aunt Nini kissed my uncle that day. Jenny yelled in shockness. Kim Rowoon, you are talking nonsense. I didn't. Rowoon groaned. I saw it. You looked at Jenny and found her face is red as tomato. You raised your brow and smiled teasingly. Can you explain the process? For example, how did you do it? Like, how's my brother's reaction? She whispered, I won't talk to you anymore. She is angry. How could you tease her in front of this little fellow? This pair of mother and son are bullying her, not fair. Rowoon, at least be loyal. I made food for you like daily. She left from there after being teased and embarrassed by two fellows. After Jenny left, Rowoon turned to you. Mummy, do you believe in me? I really saw it that day. You reached out and pinched his small nose. Mummy, believe in you, baby. Do you like Aunt Nini to be your biological aunt? To marry with uncle? He blinked. Can she make food for me often in the future like she do now? Such a foodie bunny. We have there. You nodded, laughing. He became excited, of course, but I'm still her favorite. She wanted to scream. He is actually her best friend's brother. How could they tease her, teaming such a betrayals? She lost her face when a cry heart contained. She bit her index finger and buried her face into pillow. Suddenly her phone vibrated. Her face reddened, seeing the text from her best friend. Can you tell me what did you feel at that moment? She furiously typed, "Don't laugh at me there anymore. I'm not laughing at you. How sweet, am I right? This best friend of hers is really cheeky. You better go and take care about your Jungkook." She blinked her eyes after realizing that she had written something wrong that she shouldn't. She panicked. "I didn't mean it that way. It's just that don't keep mocking me about this matter." There is silence. What's wrong with her? It's nerve-wracking when she didn't get reply. She was about to get off the bed and went to next door to explain, but her phone vibrated. You admit it. Her eyes widened. She was actually tricked by her best friend. She snorted. "Yes, yes, yes. How about I admit it? Haven't you always known that I like your brother? I couldn't help it the other day when he was just in front of me." "Sure, whether you can be my sister in law will depend on your performance later on. Work hard fighting. Becoming own best friend's sister in law." She held her cheeks with both hands and began to fantasize about her Prince Charming. Her best friend was so supportive. It's just that she never dared to confess. Even she kissed him. It's just merely peck. It doesn't count, right? Eh, Kim Jenny, you will die single if your dream man with is cold. It was the day of the court session. You washed up early and got ready to go, wearing capable suit that just fitted your petite yet curvy body. Before you left, you told Rowan to obediently eat at school and behave well. You personally sent him and will pick him up later on. His mother hadn't did it for him for long. You were at hospital and office most of the time, so you merely get time to spend with your son. When you went to hospital and walking to the ward, you heard the conversation between aunt and nephew, but there was also another voice. You stood at the door of the ward and saw people inside. Jiyoon sat on the chair with a calm expression. Jungkook had a cold face, and between them, by side, was a woman who looked anxious, probably explaining something to him. You can guess it. Who is she? Maybe Mrs. Kim, Thyon's mother. You didn't go in to disturb, but waited by the door. However, the person who doesn't even want to hear women's explanation, he felt presence of the women. His gaze was immediately attracted. He stood up and walked towards door, making women stop talking. Mrs. Kim looked at June, but June shrugged her shoulders. She don't know either what happened to her nephew. "Why are you standing outside the door? Come in." His voice was gentle. Was this woman stupid? How long was she going to stand there? That's what he thought. You were surprised. Was this person have fiery golden eyes? He clearly didn't look at you when you looked at him just now. How did he know? Seeing your stern expression, he can guess what you are thinking. No need to be surprised. There is a connection between the hearts. Does this person know how to read minds? You blinked when he grabbed wrist of stunned women and pulled inside the ward. You walked little behind him. "My thoughts will not change. You can leave now." Two women were stunned and you frowned. To the begin, he didn't want to hear anything from Mrs. Kim. Now he had asked her to leave. Why this man is so rude? Why no one teached him how to respect his elder? You also thought that he shouldn't be this much direct. But thinking about this case and the accident, your expression is indifferent and didn't talk but look at people motionlessly. Mrs. Kim panicked. "Jungkook, don't please. I came today with sincerely apologize to you. Thyone did something wrong because I didn't teach her well, but she is a girl after all. If she goes to prison like this, then she will die worse than death. I apologize behalf of her. Your lips moved but didn't utter anything. He coldly snorted. Madam Kim thinks that my current appearance is not enough to live a life worse than death. She was distressed. I know that you are suffering thousands of times than her, but people have made mistake. She was impulsive. As long as you are willing to let her go this once, I promise there will be no next time. If things happen, then I will punish her first. Of course, you know the mother's hurt, no matter how many mistakes their child's made. Mother still want to protect own flesh. Mrs. Kim suddenly looked at your direction, and it immediately gave her hope. Mrs. Kim noticed that Jungkook is grabbing your hand. You sense the gaze and try to pull your hand away, but this Moran tightened his grip around your wrist. I heard that Dhawan wanted to attack on you, but Jungkook blocked it. I'm really sorry for my daughter's impulsive action. She is young and ignorant. Can you forgive her this time? Your lips moved. This mother is desperately fighting for her daughter. You are a mother. Thinking about it, if one day Rovon will be in the kind of situation, you will also beg to save your son. You couldn't help but looked at Jungkook. Jungkook probably knew what you were thinking, so he loosened his mouth. Do you have an idea? You are stunned. This man clearly didn't want to hear you yesterday, but now, asking about your thoughts, would you like to hear it? He let go of your wrist just to wrap his hands around your waist from behind. In front of these elders, tell me. Such a voice, low and hoarse, pronounced intimately. You wanted to push him, but this man couldn't let go. I can give a chance, but I want to see her in the court first. If he is willing to give chance, then there is no need for you to ask about it. There is no opposite lawyer from the Hyun side. Knowing that it's all in the hand of Mr. President John, even they hide, they're afraid they could not defeat him. Therefore, they can just seek justice for Thayon is to beg for mercy with the one she hurted. Perhaps Jungkook wanted to see Thayon if she have anything changes in her mind after being caged for almost a month by now, or she still hate you, or she hate towards you dependent. Jungkook want to know for the sake of this woman's safety. June observed Jungkook. Is he the man who swore to take down June years ago? The one who said that he will never have anyone in his path but ended up regretting some of his past decision, and she looked at you. No wonder this man changed so much. This woman is not ordinary to begin with. Jungkook never heard anyone's other than her after his mother's death. Now she felt that her nephew was really tightly held by this woman, and this was really within her expectation. Now there is reason for him to be happy. Mrs. Kim was really surprised. Jungkook was really cold while ago. She could feel the power of this man's aura and the sharp coldness in his eyes ever since they met. Later on, she felt that this man may like this. She was still looking forward to the day her daughter conquered him, but now she saw that he is obeying and clinging with another woman, and this woman is not her daughter. It was lie to say that she was not envious, but was there any use for her to be one? She was an experienced person. She knew a man's hurt. If it's on you, then it's really on you. You don't have to bother to catch it. He will come closer to you, please you. But if his heart wasn't on you, then even if you try your best, he probably won't look at you again. Not to mention a man like John Jungkook. Mrs. Kim acknowledged it. This woman persuaded this cold man. She is thankful and ensured that she will let her daughter apologize for her mistake. Losing to this woman was not a small matter. This woman's features was not ordinary. Thus, Jungkook already gave his heart to this wonderful woman. Will be never so simple. She looked at you, such a kind and soft-hearted person. It's the time to go for court, and Jungkook want to tag along with you, but his aunt tried to stop him from coming in his injuries. self, but he didn't listen to her. He helplessly signaled you to persuade him, but you couldn't make it, so you all went towards court at last. As an aunt, Jiyoon have cared so much, but his nephew was so stubborn, he's badly hurt. If he fell to the ground, she will just ask someone to bring him back to hospital. Anyway, he won't die. It really wasn't a big deal. His injuries was almost healed. It's nearly been month that he stayed in the detention center. There is no service and facilities at all. Such a torture she never felt before. She didn't eat well these days. Prison's food is not good, but she must have to eat to stay alive. She is waiting for the day to go out. The clothes are inmate wear, just a blue shirt and trouser, messy hair with no makeup, but still she is beautiful. Among of the ladies, criminal, she is just too eye-catching. The reason why she became like this was all because of that sarang. There is accumulation of anger. She clenched her fists. If not for her, I would not have fallen to this extent. One of constable informed her that she got visitors. The moment she saw her mother, she couldn't help but cry, embracing her, apologizing that she's wrong cause of her family's reputation gonna be spoiled. But there was not only Mrs. Kim, but also the person who she liked and hated the most beside Aunt Jeon. The moment she met his sharp gaze, she couldn't help but get frightened. He? Why is he here? Who? Mrs. Kim turned to look at person behind. Jeon, Jungkook and you. She had lost weight and she had no makeup on and face is pale. Probably she is looking ugly and the dress was not good looking for her. Jungkook is the person she admired, so how could she let him see her like this? She couldn't help but turned her back to people there. As a girl in front of the person she loved, her image had completely collapsed. Compared to Dhayon, her mother is collected and then calm her daughter down first before asking her to apologize to you. Let her admit her mistake and promise her mother that she will not do things like this in the future. Dhayon, as a good girl, your mom came to save you today, but you have to apologize to her. You are not allowed to do it again. Dhayon trembled back. How could she? Her mother put effort on it to save her daughter, so she don't want let this opportunity slide. So her mother want her to apologize. Mom, what are you talking about? You want me to beg that woman? Her mother tried to persuade her. Yes, it's mother's fault to not teach her child how to behave, and Dhayon's hatred towards you is so obvious. She should splash acid to this woman who's standing beside the man. They're safe and sound. I will not apologize. Her eyes ruthless scan you top to toe. This is not my fault. She stole my man first. Mrs. Kim looked at her daughter in disbelief. What nonsense are you talking about? An ominous feeling arose in her heart. Do you know if you don't apologize today, you might be locked up for a long time? Her daughter is not willing to apologize. She is disappointed. Choose yourself, apologize and go out or stay here for long.